hello everyone. We are back to a second video wherein we are creating a solution to the Swagger JSON to conversion to a Postman V2 collection. So in the last video, if you have seen, there was a problem with Postman wherein we cannot convert a large Swagger JSON file and import it directly into Postman. So Postman doesn't allow you to do that. It will give you an error wherein it goes offline and then says like error processing it or something. So yeah, you won't be able to do it. So to solve this, basically we have found a library, an open source library which is there, which is called OpenAI to Postman V2 collection. So this library is there on the npm package. uh, what is the use of this is basically like it is able to convert any Swagger JSON to a Postman collection, I mean a Postman ready collection. So see, we can obviously directly download or import it, but yes, if you run it through this tool, it's always better because this tool is actually recognized by Postman. So it is a surety method of how we can actually guarantee our code, a JSON code when we are converting it, so it will be 100% acceptable and readable by the Postman. So this tool is actually of use, and we will be building this tool here. So it is going to be a full stack project. So this is a utility tool wherein this we will be building it in Backend Node.js and the front end would be React. So yeah, we will be building it from scratch. So we have a lot of things to do. We can see it live getting built, so we know how it is end to end. Yeah, and this is a link for the OpenAPI Postman V2. So I will be putting this inside the description box. So if you want to go to this and you want to clone it, you can always do that. So there is a link you can use for adding it. But yeah, I will also be sharing my GitHub repository where you shall always already be having access to everything. You just have to do npm install and you have to do npm start on those servers and it would start. One more thing is like this is a continuation to the old Postman collection video. So if you haven't watched that video, please go and watch it. You might get a good context, and there is a detailed explanation of what Swagger JSON is, what Postman collection is, and how do we build it, how do we convert it. It's a detailed video. You can definitely watch specific sections if you want to be focusing on a particular part. Yes, but that is a detailed video. If you haven't watched it, please go and watch it. The link would be somewhere at the top right now. Okay, so let's start with creating the backend part first. So as this project is going to be based in Node.js, so I will be using VS Code as this is the best IDE for running a Node.js project. So the basic setup of this project is already done. So I'm looking at my package.json. So I've already installed the dependencies and libraries which I would be using for this project. So you can install them one by one, or you can simply use this package.json and do an npm install on your CLI, and it does the same thing. So all your node modules would get downloaded, the relevant node modules would get downloaded, and the project would be ready. So few of the dependencies which we are actually using as additional one are like cores. We are using express.js, we are using Multer, we are using, and the primary one of all is the OpenAPI to Postman V2. So this is the core library on which this entire functionality would be based on. So let's start with creating this application from scratch. So I shall create a new file called server. This is getting created in node modules. I don't want it here. I want it somewhere outside. So we will be having server.js. Okay. One more thing which you might also see is this uploads folder which I have created. There is nothing inside it, but yes, it's there for a purpose. I will let you know once we progress ahead while coding. So yeah, we'll come back to it. Fine. So let us start. So firstly, to create the server.js, we basically have to use few modules like so let us bring them in this file. So say we would be using express express. Okay, require express. Okay, great. I will be using some. We will also be using course. We will be using Multer, fs. We should also use the path, and finally the open API. This is not okay. Great. So all of these packages which we shall be using are ready. So I have to change the variable name. We can't keep using the same thing. Multer, here is fs. So the libraries are there in our file. Now we shall start putting the logic. Okay, now the first thing which we shall add is course. Okay, so let's add the course functionality. So because since this is a full stack application and the front end is from React and the back end is from Node, so basically both of them won't be running on the same server instances. Say the ports would be different. So a browser basically restricts any network calls coming in from a different server, okay, to, and I mean originating and going to a different server. It is not allowed until unless the backend has already put that in its course, enabled that course feature. So we shall be doing it manually because we don't want our requests to fail. So as we know, like the front end runs on localhost 3000. The React default port which it starts is localhost 3000. So we are putting it over here. And one thing more, we shall be so we have shall whitelisting all the domains we want to allow. So any other domains which we want to allow, we definitely have to mention them here, comma separated. So it can be anything, abc.com or anything. Okay. Okay. And now let's call express. Okay. And this where we shall use the course, wherein we have to pass the argument to it as a course options. So we are ready with this. The course is all set up for our application. So front end can hit the back end. It is not anymore an issue. Okay, so we shall also be using something which is Multer. Okay, so let me add it over here because I just want to keep it over here. Um, and let's not call it Multer because it's already there. So we shall use Multer and we shall say the destination. Yeah, this is it takes in a key called DST destination. Okay, and we say like which file do we want it to go. So we say like create an uploads folder. I mean there will be a folder created uploads, and inside that you keep on putting those files. Okay, fine. So let's remove this, and then we say app.post. Say we are saying. So now this second part, what I'm actually going to start. So this is basically now we will be covering the post request. So we are creating a handler inside this for a post request. So this the route which is coming in. Okay, so it will be capturing it. It will take the input file which is being transmitted via payload, and it will process it, and then it will convert it using this OpenAPI to Postman v2 utility, and then it will send that response back to the front end. So we are writing that part of our handling that file. So that is why we call this file as server, because this does the job of a server. Okay, so upload.single file. So this video will be a bit of fast paced because we don't want to go on the basics of Node, but obviously we are creating this utility from scratch so that we know any highlighting points which I feel would be required, I will definitely let you know. So we are saying if say this request dot file is not present, so we basically return this. Okay, we say the status was a 400 and we send a message like no file present, or say uploaded because we are uploading this. Great. So now we are saying we have an input file. Okay, so we are saying path.join the name file path const output file is equals to path to join the name, and we say create a file called as collection.json, I mean Postman collection.json, and bring that output and save that output into it. Okay, so this is what we have let Node know, like we want these two files. So let's say OpenAPI spec. So reading the input file, and this is coming as UTF-8. Read it as a UTF-8. I don't think the stash should be there probably. Okay. Now saying convert. Now we are using that utility. Okay, I mean the library. So we are converting this file, which we have gotten as a Swagger JSON. So we shall be converting it now, and we are passing it the correct arguments. We pass this, we pass this data, which is the OpenAPI spec. Okay, okay, and this one, this is the first argument. This is an object which we pass. Second argument we don't need it, and the third is a callback function. I don't know why this is like this. Okay, now what we shall be actually doing is, if we shall be checking if there is already a file, input file present on the system. So there we got an input file, right? Now we shall be checking if it is still present on that system, then we shall be removing it. We don't want our server memory to be loaded with those files. So we are doing that. So let me mention a comment wherein we are doing so the uploaded file is being cleaned up. Okay, and here we are just saying if we got an error, or if result is false, just return as status of 500 and send it as conversion failed. Okay, fine. No, I need a reason why did that happen. So some idea about what did actually go wrong. Okay, and now we are going to write that file. So it should come write file sync. Okay, and which file? It is the output file. What do we do? So json.stringify the result dot output 0. Okay, so this is how we are writing that file. Basically, we are creating that output file from the input which we have received. Now, the next part which we should also want as a feature to be there in our application is once the conversion has happened, we want that file to get downloaded automatically for the user. We don't want a manual download button to appear and then it gets downloaded. So, yeah, so for that, what we can do is we can say start download output file. The file name can be, so it can be anything. I'm just putting postman collection.json. Okay, this takes in a third argument, which is a callback function. So here, what we always want to do is like we want to basically delete any output file. So we want to do a cleanup of this output file after we have downloaded it or we have sent it back to the user. Okay, so we want to do that. So for that, what we do is fs.unlink sync and this output file and see if there is an error. Link. Okay, if this is true, give me an error wherein deleting an out file. Okay, and what is the error? Give me that error. Okay, fine. Now we are done with this. So this deleting part is done. So after it has been, this file has been sent back to the front end. This file gets deleted, and if there are any download errors also, we do also want that to get logged. So we will say like if there is some download error, give me that download error. Okay, fine. So our res is now completed. So this download functionality is now completed. Okay, and now since we had a try, so we should also have a catch for this. So we say like this, and we have to basically do is exist sync, say if this is there. Okay, so if anything is going wrong, basically we're just checking if anything is not right. So then we start doing this, say if this is file is there, say fs dot unlink sync. Okay, the input file. Okay, yes. And we also send a status of 500 where we are also sending say server error. So this is also done. Just like mentioning the comment. So file if error has occurred. Okay, and we also here also what we are doing is we are cleaning up the generated output file. So okay, So we are done till here. So basically this is the entire logic which will be running. Now what we will be doing is we shall be starting our server. Okay, so fine. So let's close everything below it. So to start our server, the server has to listen to some port. So we say like we started at 3001 as 3000 is being taken by React. Okay, and we say like fine, server is running if at port 3001. So yes, that is the only backend code which we have to write. Rest everything shall be taken care of. So one thing is like now I shall explain like why we have this uploads folder. So what we are doing is like say anything when a request is coming from the front end. So we are capturing that request. Okay, so we have taken it as an input file. Now that input file, we're not just simply discarding it. We have to store it somewhere for the processing conversion to happen, and then we have to return back that file. So that is being stored inside this uploads folder. So this uploads folder is used for that perspective. So, but we are also clearing it every time. So the input file, the output file, we are always checking we don't have uh, a lot of memory being taken over it, because if we don't clear it, basically it will get accumulated over time and it might slow down our system, or it is taking unnecessary space. That is one thing. This is an OpenAPI JSON, so this is not useful for our project, but why I've kept it here is like in case this is coming from the last video, part one video which we had. So in case we want like a dummy thing to test on, so a dummy JSON file, a Swagger JSON file. So this is one which we can download and we can use it. So we can send it from the front end, which we shall be creating right now soon. And then we shall see like if we are getting the response as a Postman collection.json or not. So yes, now let's jump into the front end code. Okay, so if we can see like the repo structure which we have, so let's see it. So in this entire repo, this is actually a full stack type repo which I've created. It's a monolithic, so the backend is here, the UI is over there also. So it's just like we need two node terminals to run it. So we can use either a single terminal and run it. I mean, since like we need to CLI command line, say you open a git bash or you open two VS Code windows and then run it in the terminal. So this is my backend and this is my UI. So if you see the UI also, I to save time, basically I've not created everything from scratch, and I have already put in the file. So this is a plain React application which has already been cleaned. So say if I'm starting this React application, I shall be seeing something. Don't I have node modules? What is the problem? Package.json. Okay, I cannot start it from here. I have to go inside this file. I'm sorry. So we have to go inside, and we are going inside UI, and yes, that's it. So we are here, and now if I do npm start, it should work. It should work, but it is not working. Okay. I have to go further inside. I'm sorry. So yeah, because this is a React application, I have to be inside it. Okay, so now we are inside this React application, and let us start our server and see if everything works fine. So to give you a brief till then, so we shall be using a couple of dependencies, also additional dependencies inside this React application, and that is for Axios. We are using nothing else more than that. No. So I'm just using Axios and I'll show you why. So yeah, this is our React application which is already started in our browser. So this plain React application is working fine. We have no issues. So let us create one more file wherein the entire UI shall be rendered. We shall call this converter React.js, and let me create a functional component for it. Okay. Okay, great. Now, what do we need first is like, let us put some screen data. So let us put some HTML onto it so that we can at least see what we are doing. So as this is more lengthy, I shall be creating it first and then coming back to with a UI. The code will be there in the GitHub repo. So yeah, let us join back from then. Okay, so our UI code is ready. So I have written a bit of code which I wanted to create a specific type of a UI. So it's a very basic UI which I could create. I am not a good designer, so yeah, was something which came to my mind. So just that because we want to build a utility tool and not some fancy UI, so we are using this, but definitely you can always go ahead and create a good wrapper of a UI screen onto it, add components, add effects, as transitions, whatever we can. So you can always fork this repository and you can do whatever you want to on top of it. I will be more happy than that. So yeah, this is the basic thing which we have. So an input file uh, of type file, I mean an input of type file, and then we choose a file and then we do it. So let us see the code bit of thing. So yes, this is input. This is if we are file selection is okay, this one turns true. If not, error is there, this one turns true, and this is our button. Okay. So let us see how it works. So we shall be selecting a file. I have that file which we have already downloaded from the folder of the backend. I have given that file as a dummy file. I'm using the same dummy file. This is an OpenAPI. I'm using it. It comes up, it says like, okay, selected file is this, so it will bring it up with the name. Also, what we need to start is our backend server parallelly. So the front end server is running. I will try to create a backend server also. Okay, so our backend server is up. Node server.js and that message, this message. Yeah, server is running at port 3001. So we are good at it. Now let us hit this. Okay. Let's see what happens. Convert and download. Okay. So it said conversion failed. Please check the file format. Any errors we see on the server, we should be seeing it. That is why we have put so many things. Converter is not defined. Okay, we have not defined the converter. Fine, let us do it. So the converter which we are using over here, where yes, this one. So it is not defined. I think this one. We should be using this. It was my mistake. So probably I have to restart my server so that the build can happen. Okay, so now we choose that file and quickly try to convert and download it. Okay, so this is got converted and downloaded. Let's open this file and we see a JSON file of a somewhat structure is like Postman. If it is truly a Postman structure or not, it will only be understood when we try to import it and everything works fine. Until then, we don't know much. So let's see. So this is a big file which is that has created. Okay. Now let us try to import this file into Postman and then try using it. Okay. So let us see that in the Postman. So I have opened my Postman and as you can see, it is blank. We don't have anything. So let us import that file which we got downloaded. So we go to import it. So this one is the file. So you can see like it got imported and there is no issues. It's very fast. Now the structure also, if you see the Swagger API management. So this is something which we had seen in the last video. So if you haven't seen in the last video, please go and watch my last video so that you get a reference of it and there is a context where we are continuing. So yeah, and we had these two types of APIs. So one was sample and then we had large. So if you see We had get items, this one, get status for large, and all of these are present. So, and if we try to hit it, it will work. Just that we have to start our backend Spring Boot server, which I haven't started as right now. So this video is not for that. So as you can see, it is there. And if you also hover on the base URL, so we can see like there is a localhost 8080 present. So it is already giving us that Tomcat server port is being saved. So whenever we are exporting it, so we are trying to convert it from Swagger to Postman, it is not basically deleting those base URL variables which we had. Okay, so these variables are there, it is not removing it. So that is also getting copied to the next version. So this is also good. This tool is actually officially recognized by Postman. So to address that bug which the Postman right now has, wherein it cannot convert a large number of API collection, one single API collection into a particular Postman collection, or it cannot import a Swagger JSON large file, we can use this tool. And this utility tool is very easy to use. So you can just simply fork it and clone it in your local, start that both of the servers on backend and front end. You just have to run npm start and the servers would start. Try to use the latest node versions. I have used node 20. You can use anything from node 20 and above. And you just need to also start your React server, and this UI would spin up on your screen. And just choose your file, click on convert and download, and it does a download. So it's very easy to use, easy for our day-to-day usage, where we always have to convert some Swagger or a JSON file. Or yeah, if you want to do it for yourself, your team, your organization, you're always open to use. I This is a tool which we have created. Okay, great. Try using it. Let me know your feedbacks if you are encountering any issues doing using this tool, converting any file, or if you also have any feedbacks on this entire video or the code. Let me know. I will be happy to hear it in the comments. So yes, use this tool. Happy watching, and like and subscribe to this video, and stay tuned for more updates. Thank you guys. Happy watching.